stand out from all other Scandinavian countries and indeed from European countries, and makes it an example really for the world?
I think what makes Finnish system really interesting for many outsiders is that it's so different. That it's a very different to education system, for example, in Ireland, or let alone UK or here in Australia. So many people find it kind of a strange that it's entirely public system. The children and teachers spend relatively little time in the kind of a formal teaching and learning activities, and the Finnish system pays much more attention to students' well-being and happiness, of course, together with the academic subjects and issues. So many people don't kind of understand that how you can have a system like this, especially 20 years ago when the OECD started to compare these systems by measuring literacy and numeracy and science. So I think that what the Finns have done before many other systems realized is to design the system for children from the children's point of view, and it's a very kind of a not only child-centered system but child-friendly. There's a lot of play taking place throughout the system, and teachers and students relationships are very informal. It's like a home type of thing. So I think that this kind of a soft approach to whole child is something that for me is the power behind this good performance, and also the power behind this being a very different education system compared to many others.
Yeah, it bespeaks a very single-minded type of people. I'd love if Ireland could just grasp the nettle and do something similar.
Yes, I've done a lot of work in Ireland and visited a lot of schools and universities there, and there are, there's some similarities when it comes to the system. One of them is the teacher's role in the system. That in Ireland is still, many young people want to become teachers, particularly primary school teachers. There are a lot of schools in Ireland, just like in Finland, relative to the population that we both have, about the same amount, and so the school is still seen as a kind of a important place in a community, rather than like in many other places. Like here, the school is almost like a production site where you kind of stuff in a lot of people there, and then move them in a standardized way. So that's why I think the Ireland. It's an interesting question that you raised, that the Ireland and Finland also have this kind of a similar cultural ethos that we have. Our history has been very much developing in the shadows of the much greater nation neighbor that has sometimes influenced in a good ways, but sometimes also in a ways that, like for us, it's been Russia in the east, and then Sweden in the west, that we have had this kind of a need to show that although we are small, but we can still be smart. And I think that the Irish system is exactly the same. That I remember my time 15 years ago when I spent 5 years at the World Bank. This was just right after the OECD PISA study evolved, and it was almost every time when I had what we call clients, the governments who were interested in improving the education systems, and I asked this question: that where would you like to go and take a look at, how education is run? Very few people actually that time said Finland, because they didn't quite know where Finland is. But most people said Ireland, because Ireland was a kind of a well-performing and high-performing Celtic tiger there in the kind of a
right. Yeah.
We have this similar type of thing, that being a small, you need to be smart, and that's what Ireland has done, and that's what Finland has done as well.